Y'all have been waiting for this one, guys. This is a zucchini lasagna. This is a super easy, delicious way to go ahead and knock out some starchy carbs, which would be your pasta, and instead use zucchini as your noodle. Believe me, you don't miss the pasta at all. You have all the goodness of the garlic and the onion, tomatoes, and all the great flavors with the cheese as well. Of course, we're gonna have that cheese on there and it's gonna be so delicious. I can't wait for y'all to try this recipe. So you're gonna make zucchini lasagna. You need to start with the star of the show right here. So for the zucchini, you wanna make sure you're getting a firm zucchini, all right? So make sure you're feeling it out. Don't get any squishy spots. You don't want that. It'll be too ripe for you to use. So make sure no squishy parts. All right, you want a good medium, maybe slightly large size. Preferably you want to get some that are pretty close in size, and it just makes it a little bit easier as you're stacking your lasagna. This is typically used for width-wise, so as you're shredding your veggies, they would just fall in here. But because I want to go lengthwise, this wouldn't work. So all I'm going to do is take off my little handy-dandy adaptation plate here. So this is the part with the blade. On my hand here, I have my cut glove, and it came with the mandolin, and then I just put a glove over it just in case. So all I'm gonna do is cut off the ends, both ends, and then what I wanna do is I just kind of look at it to get the smoothest side. So I definitely wanna start with the smoothest side, and if there's like a big bump in it, then that one I'll leave to the outside because I want the smoothest side first. That'll give me the nicest planks. Take my blade and just slice it down in this motion. So I usually do a couple in one direction. I'll flip it over and then keep going in that opposite direction like so. And the reason I flip it is because it'll start, it'll just cut through a little bit easier here. It makes the planks a little bit more even when you rotate your zucchini. All right, y'all, so I went ahead and put all of my little extra pieces in here onto the side. So if I need a couple more pieces, I could pull from those. If I don't need them, I'm gonna chop them up and add them into our sauce. So what I'm gonna do now is prep the zucchini planks. Now what I've done is put all of this in a nice one single layer down onto the paper towels. I'm gonna go in with just a little bit of this pink Himalayan sea salt, okay? You can use whatever salt you have on hand. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that down. So now what the salt is going to do is help pull away the moisture from the zucchini, all right? And that's what we want, because if the zucchini has all of its moisture still in it while it's cooking, a lot of that water is gonna come up, you know, during the cooking process, which is totally fine. You want some liquid to come up. That's completely normal. However, if you don't do this step, it'll just be a little extra watery, and also your zucchini might be slightly overdone. Is that the end of the world? No. Maybe you like super soft pasta, and that's totally fine. So if you like a really soft pasta and you really don't want to taste that zucchini or fool people into thinking it's just regular old, you know, pasta lasagna, then yeah, go ahead and leave it out without doing this step. You can omit this. It doesn't take much time to do this step. It really just takes a few seconds. So all I'm gonna do is just let that sit for maybe a minute or two. I'll blot it down as the water is starting to come up, and it does not take very long at all. So in order to bump up our protein intake, we're trying to remove some fat or remove some carbs in order to bump up the protein. So in order to do that, that's why I went ahead and chose that part skim ricotta cheese. So this one actually has 7 grams of protein, and that is per serving. But remember, we're using about half of that. And then the cheese blend, let's see, your cheese blend has 9 grams of protein, but it has 8 grams of fat. And the part skim here is only 5 grams of fat. So, you know, it's a little less, but again, that's where we're just kind of giving and taking, right? We're trying to make an option that is pretty good, make it slightly better, all right? Again, just trying to bump up the protein when we can. So this is ready to go. My cheese is all mixed up. All I'm gonna do now is just add in a little bit of seasoning blend. So I have some fine herbs right here, a little bit of the Tuscan herb that we've used several times in our recipes, and then some of our prime rub that Luna is working on right now. So I'm going to add a little bit of everything in there. And basically it's a nice mix of peppers, garlic, a little bit of smokiness, and then of course these nice little herbs. The herbs are tarragon, rosemary, and chives. Okay, so I have my first layer down of my zucchini. What I'm going to do is take half of my meat mixture and then go ahead and lay that down first. So we did 2 pounds of turkey here, and I opened up 1.5 of the jars of marinara. You can use your choice, whatever you like. The only thing I would suggest is to make sure you find one that has the least amount of sugar as possible, added sugar. Most tomato sauces have some sugar added because of the acidity, so you want to balance out that flavor, yeah? And that's totally fine, just want to make sure to be conscious of that. So after I put in about half of my mixture, we're going to go in and add another layer of the zucchini. Go ahead and layer down that zucchini. What you'll do next is get your cheese mixture. Make sure you spread that nice and evenly throughout the dish. You want to make sure you don't have any large pockets of cheese. You want to spread it pretty evenly. Then you'll take your next layer of zucchini planks. Ensure that you're slightly overlapping them, as you can see that I'm doing here, and that way you ensure you get a nice bite of zucchini in every single bite. Next up, y'all, go ahead and get that other half of your meat mixture. Spread that evenly once again throughout your casserole dish. And then you want to go ahead and add that cheese. Now, I actually forgot to chop in the rest of my veggies and add it into the sauce. So what I did here was just add it to the top and baked it this way. At 375, took about 45 minutes, and it came out perfectly. You can serve anywhere from 8 to 10 servings. I chose to do 9 here, and it's just the perfect amount. You get a great amount of protein with this, and of course, a good amount of veggies and some nice delicious fats. Enjoy, guys.